Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 8 game in my Benson, and going over the matchmaking, we're looking at, it is a CV match. We do have a tier 6 independence. Um, Not a major threat outside of just spotting me, annoyance kind of thing. Maybe the die bombers get a good drop on me. Uh, Radar wise, looking at a Cleveland. DD wise, we do have some nasty stuff here. Cossack. That's a really nasty ship. Harikaze, thing's been buffed into a monster. Excuse me. Low Yang with the Hydro, that's always a pain to deal with. So we do have some nasty, mainly destroyer threats that gonna have to figure out how to deal with. The map is Trident. The battle mode is Epicenter, and my game plan is I basically have a center spawn. I'm basically going to push up the east side of the flank, see what's going on. Uh, Ideally, like to see if I can find a destroyer and just pretty much work them over. Now, Benson's a ship that uh, guys that have played competitive for a while, if you were a DD main or played destroyers, you probably spent a significant amount of time in Benson. At one point, Benson was so prolific in the Supremacy League that teams would limit the number of, or the tournament would actually limit the number of Bensons or U.S. destroyers that you could bring because of the heavy smoke meta that we had at the time. And Benson's really good at being a U.S. destroyer, providing that just beautiful smoke for your teams, where you're able to hold positions. Uh, you can. There's so many things that you can do with U.S. destroyer smoke. Uh, but I mean, talking about the ship itself, it's got pretty good firepower. Uh, it handles great. Uh, Acceleration's good. It's got a narrow profile. This isn't an easy ship to hit. Um, the Probably pretty close to a year ago, they actually buffed Benson, and this is what I was looking for. Okay, we've got an isolated destroyer up on the flank, and even better, it's a Z-23. I've got a lot more DPM than a Z-23 does. So this is a fight that I can pick and be pretty comfortable with. Uh, but in general, she's got it all. Good AP, good HE, good DPM. Um, I do prefer to, like you'll see me do on a lot of US destroyers, I don't run the upgraded gunfire control system. This is the stock module. And the reason for it is I just don't see the need to, have that extra range. Generally, I'm able to, make more plays, and this is a horrible shot. Forgot to zoom out my reticle. Ugh. Uh, but yeah, just totally lost my train of thought. That shot just totally threw me for a loop. But anyway, pushing up here, I know this Z-23 doesn't have smoke, so it's a good time for me to pick this fight. I know that I was spotted, so I'm predicting that there's torps coming, so I'm just going to be real cheeky right here and just stop right up here when I spot him. Only had 3 guns on target, so accelerated slightly to get my guns back on target. And just going to town on this guy. I'm not smoking up here because mainly I want to make sure that, you know, any of our guys don't smoke up and we let this guy get away. So I'm not really taking much in the way of damage. So just going to make sure that we pick this kill up. And this is part of the reason why I like the stock gunfire control module. If I wasn't running it, the enemy CV would probably still be spotting me. So I'm able to do a lot more sneaky moves, disengaging after killing a destroyer or something like that, or shooting from one cap into another, and you know, just the smaller footprint of my guns means less ships can spot me. Harikaze out in the open. The ship has a lot of DPM, but it's really short on hit points. So, you know, any of those hits, man, they just really punish that ship. Harikaze pokes out, and you know, just gonna work this guy over. Now, I don't want to be shot at by this guy, so I'm just gonna smoke up. Harikaze finishes off the Z-23, and I get a good shot in on the Harikaze, and you can just see just how quickly Harikaze just kind of melts. I gotta look, 13,000 XP. I think that ship might actually have not be running survivability expert, which that's really sketchy on that boat because of the limited hit points. I don't know if he's grinding a captain on it or what, but that's... I keep a dedicated captain on my Harikaze. Just taking a perspective shot at this ITEL, trying to help my battleship out, see if I can shoot down any planes. But I'm looking, I see this Queen Elizabeth is getting ready to push out, probably to harass my Gneisenau. And I'm looking, yep, I'm going to go ahead and lead her, thinking that she's going to accelerate. I dropped the second set, thinking she might try to turn in. And now I'm just going to kite. And right here, you know, 5.4 kilometers off a battleship, you can see just how hard it is to kind of hit this DD. It's, with the rudder shift, you're just incredibly elusive. That shot I wasn't detected, so he's not even in the ballpark. And the upgraded torps, they hit plenty hard. So at this point, I've done a pretty good job clearing out the central cap. I do want to push up here, try to kill this Harikaze, and just keep kind of sweeping ships out as they kind of push into me. But the issue is my team is starting to melt, and you know, that's always going to be an issue for a destroyer. I mean, your torps reload only so fast, your gun DPM is only so much. There's very definite limits on how much you can carry. Our Kagero's got the Harikaze spotted. He goes on ahead, finishes. I'm looking right here. I see the battleships going behind an island. I'm going to push up and go after this Independence. Switching to the torpedo bombers. They're the real threat to me. Need to spot the Independence. Finally get inside spotting range. And I'm just in free cam right now taking a look, and wasn't leading enough, just adjusting my aim. And I'm looking, I'm just watching to see, you know, where shots are coming from this Scharnhorst. The, you know, the HE, all of that can do a lot of damage to me. So, you know, don't want to take any unnecessary damage. But I don't want to let that independence get away. So, I see the next shot coming in. Again, just slamming on the brakes, angling in. And you can dodge a lot of shots just by all sorts of different maneuvers, but generally angling to or away threats is pretty solid. I dropped my second smoke of the game. I believe it's my second smoke. And start going to town on this Scharnhorst. I don't want to drop torps with planes right overhead. This Scharnhorst repairs one fire, and of course, there's no such thing as follow-up fires. We can't punish these sorts of moves. So this is one reason, and I do actually have one fire flag on the ship at this point, or for this game. This is one reason why I think sometimes AP is superior when you have broadside ships. Yeah, I'm doing ship damage with my HE, but I'm not really getting what I want, and that's the fire. I'm trying to bait a turn. He's not really turning, so just gonna go on ahead and drop one set of torps on this. Oh no, do I drop two? I forget. I think I just dropped the one on the Scharnhorst. Hold back a set. But I'm just gonna keep using this smoke. I had stepped out of the smoke a little bit just in case somebody was trying to torp it. You know, just trying to be elusive. I notice the center caps behind me is falling. Kind of expect that to be the Cossack. And just trying to get this Scharnhorst down. Don't want to let this guy repair. And my smoke's wearing out, so just gonna take a wild guess at the lead on this Alabama. Think he's gonna turn out, drop the torps, and start pushing up. And right about this time, here comes the Cossack, and that's a good shot. I want to take a look. Okay, there, that was only 12. That was a good shot. I had some bad RNG where I think I hit some modules that basically kept me from killing the guy. And basically I think I hit some stuff where shells weren't, damage wasn't counted, or that I had some bad dispersion. It looked like at least one of those shots, maybe two, was a little low and only had one or two hits. But I mean, you know, that's having the close-in gunpowder, you know, nearly what the Cossack does. You know, that's no joke. Cossack's got a ton of gunpowder going for it. But we're finishing this game. It's going to be a loss. 74,000 damage, 4 kills. Most of the damage is on just chunking out pretty much all the destroyers except I think the Low Yang. And that's really what Benson's good at. Just like all the other USDDs, you're really well suited to picking fights with, you know, most destroyers. I mean, the only ones that I would kind of hesitate would be the actual full Russian gunboats. But then dealing with them, you've got some strategies you can do, especially using smoke. For example, Kiev's so fast that if you ambush a Kiev, um, she's gonna have AFT, so she's most likely gonna be spotted by your team, enabling you to smoke up and just, free farm her. She's either going to try to kite away, in which case you just keep shooting, or she's going to try to slow down and smoke. But she's so fast that it gives you a really good window to, just slam shell after shell into her. Um, and it's these types of tactics that you need to devise when you're playing U.S. destroyers, and you need to go against, these superior, quote, superior gunboats. Um, use Per tier, you guys, U.S. destroyers still have some of the highest close-in DPM, and it's just a matter of getting, really close in where your shells just aren't missing, and you can just melt ships. Um, so this Kagero is going to go down here shortly. He's going to get spotted. Uh, but I hope you guys enjoy the game. Benson is a ship I've heard people, saying that it's been power creeped and that it's hard to play, all that kind of stuff. And it does require some thought when you're down tiered. Uh, but I think that, she's just as balanced now as she was, ages ago. Kagero goes down. I'm kind of, you know, I did compliment the guy because, you know, a lot of destroy or Japanese destroyer captains for some reason will kind of draw that game out, and it'd just be ugly. 1200 base XP. I mean, that's all destroyer damage and the one cap. The Cossack that I fought with, dude got 6 kills. So 2.6 base XP for him. Solid game for that Cossack. Um, Looking at things, we both landed 28 hits. Um, he just, got a little extra on me, and the doing the math on my hits, I just had I don't think it was even really saturation. The saturation probably played a little bit of a role, but I think there was some module damage that just shells hit, but AA or whatever ate them, and I've it's something that I use all the time, trying to, especially with my Japanese torp boats, let that AA just absorb, shells and save me hit points. And it's one of those things that um, being able to hit the correct parts of ships matters when you're close in. And I whiffed a couple shots, and that's why we ended up trading. Um, so hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you got any questions, leave them below. I hope you guys are having a good night, and I'll talk to you later.